So this is it's a simple Excel spreadsheet basically, where I wrote down all of the various attributes I could think of that you might assess a player in. And looking back, actually, since I shared it yesterday, more I'd like to add in, which I will do to my own copy soon. But there are over 100 different attributes. It covers all of your technical things, passing, heading, shooting, control, etc. But right down to your tactical knowledge, your understanding of your role or of the few roles that you play, and then the social side of your development. Are you a leader? Are you a player that responds well to setbacks? Are you someone that supports your teammates? Those types of things. So all the different attributes I could think of. And then in the example that I shared, it was from an under-16 team that I worked with. There were 17 players in that squad, and I just listed their names across the top of the spreadsheet and then tried to gauge where I thought they were on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being low, 5 being high, in each attribute. The great thing I think about it was I colour-coded the 1 to 5, so 1 was a red and 5 was a green, and it created a bit of a heat map on when you looked at the spreadsheet as a whole, and it instantly could spot areas that the whole squad were particularly good at, or a whole area where they had areas that we could improve in. They were very good. They were a very good under-16 team, playing in the top division in their area, and technically there was lots of green on the sheet. But tactically, and as you'd expect for players of their age, only 15 years old, it wasn't screen. There's some ambers in there, and that was some areas that we focused on for the season. So by doing that assessment at the start, I was able to then focus the training in the right areas. And then I used share the assessment with the players and their parents at the start, and then each 6 weeks we'll report back to show where they are on that assessment again. Are they moving up? And the aim is to develop individual development plans. So you might go, okay, we've got a fullback, we've got a left back, and currently when he goes into press, he arrives really quickly. His body position is good in terms of getting low and getting on his toes. He's focusing on the ball. This is actually a true story. We had a left back who would show his opposite winger inside. So he would show them inside towards the pitch. So the right winger, he would open up his body so they could run inside. And I was like, well, why are you doing that? That means they're going towards the goal. He said to me it's because he felt that he wasn't very fast, and if he showed them outside that they'd beat him for pace and get past him and cross the ball in. And I said, well, that might be the case, but we can work on that. But actually, if they go past you on the inside, it's even worse, because then they're in on goal and potentially could get shot away. So we said, right, so over the next few weeks, we'd like you, every time you go in and press, is to get your body shape in the right position to show your right winger, your opposite man, down the left-hand side away from goal, and then we'll work on your timing of blocks, timing of interceptions, making sure they don't get that cross in, and how to anticipate when they're going to move there, so that we can make it. If you're thinking faster than them, then your physical pace is less of an issue if you're already one mental step ahead of them. And over the weeks and months that we worked on that, he picked it up, and every single time he showed him a way, and then he would just intercept, he would block cross it, and he did it really well. But he had one of the few points that we gave him on his individual development plan to work on. He went away and watched some fullbacks. I gave him the example of Dani Alves. He went and watched Dani Alves as an incredibly attacking fullback, but also looked at his defensive side of things. Going back a few years now, one of the most successful fullbacks England have ever had is Ashley Cole, and he holds a record of having faced Ronaldo and Messi something like 8 times in his career, and between them they've only scored once. So he was doing something right. So I'm like, just go and watch Ashley. He wasn't too bad, and see what you can pick up. Loads of highlights on YouTube, and that's just the homework that they did. And then they come back into training, going, right, Aaron, I think I've got it. Let's show me. I said, show me, and they get on with it. So that was the purpose of the template. It's like I say, it was really simple. Since sharing it, I've had lots and lots and lots of people ask for it. So for anyone listens to this and still waiting for it, I'm sorry, I will get it to you as soon as possible. But some of the comments I've had is how do you give them a 1 to 5 rating? What is that based on? And it's a really good question, and it's one that is completely subjective. And it is my opinion. It's the coaches that I work with. It's our joint opinion, and it could probably be, and most likely will be, different from everyone else's opinion, which is why we all pick different teams, etc. But there are some scales that I think you could use it for. You might say that a 5 means that you're the best at that attribute in your team, and therefore your 1 to 5 is rated on your team. Or you might say if you're at 5, you're comparing it to all the teams in your competition. So within your league, let's say you had finishing 1-on-1, you might say little Tommy, our striker, is a 5. We think he's the best 1-to-1 one-on-one finisher in the league, bar no one. So therefore you'd give him a 5. Or you might say, we think 5 is brilliant, and this is where we want to get you, and we've got a picture in our head of what that looks like, and we'd like you to be there by the end of the season. And at the start of the season, we think you're on a 3. So you've got those 2 steps to go up to get to a 5, and we want everyone to be getting up to 5 in their attributes. Now, that doesn't mean they are a 5 against maybe all the other players in the league or anything else, but it just shows progress. And I think that's the important thing, is anyone using it or anyone doing player analysis, is you don't use it as a literal rating. That player isn't a 5 out of 5. They are a 5 on the basis that you've given them a 5, whatever that may be. If you've given them a 4 and at the start of the season they've gone to a 5, by the end of the season they've improved. Does that mean they've improved exactly by a factor of 1 or of 25%? Of course not. But you've seen a measurable improvement, and that's what's important.